with the lesser amount of asphalt?
Again, it varies and depends on the maintenance. Maintenance is key to that. You'll have to come in one every year or 2 years and maintain that road, and that costs money also. We've seen county roads that last 7 to 10 with good maintenance. Some can go 11 to 12 with good maintenance. So it really depends on your maintenance program and how aggressive you tackle that.
And one advantage to the crack relief layer that I want the council and the public to be aware of is really just the level of expertise that was involved with the engineers that were through there. As Alan's mentioned, many of these engineers are well seasoned, and the advantage to the crack relief layer is that it prevents water from infiltrating into the base, which prevents it magnifies the reflective cracking. But the reflective crack layer also reduces the significant potholes and things that you see in typical overlays that begin to deteriorate. And that's a real advantage, that the maintenance is substantially streamlined and easier to maintain through there. And we did explain to the administration the importance of the crack layer that we felt. And we really did feel that the 10% investment was a beneficial trade-off to get the additional longevity of the roadway through there. You can't really say one road is exactly right, one road's wrong, because it just comes down to what is the life cycle that you're looking for through there.
Right, which originally was a 20-year road with a 15-year bond, am I correct? Mm-hmm. So now we may be getting a 10-year road with a 15-year bond. Against what the engineers that we hired for consultation recommended.
Mr. Chairman, the life expectancy has kind of been a big part of my interest, because like Councilman Witt and I voted on a 20-year road, and some of the I wrote down some of the quotes, if you will, some information that Mr. Cruz had provided to council. Removal of crack relief will undermine the life of the pavement from an anticipated life of 20 years to less than 10 years. In 10 years, HMA resurfacing will require replacement. This concerns me if we were trying to get a 20-year road. It concerns me that we're financing it for 15 years. I had actually asked Mr. Couture about, can you really finance something for a term longer than the life expectancy? The Municipal Finance Act says no. Now the road will be there. We're going to be able to drive on it, but it appears, it's your strong opinion, that based on the change, 20 years is definitely not 20 years. It might be 12, it might be 10, it might be 8, but I know I'm paying on the bonds for 15 years, and that's concerning to me.
And the Asphalt Association of Michigan has really, they've been doing this since '99, and they've been monitoring the roads, so now we're in 22 years of there, and they're projecting some of their roads actually to get a 30-year life out of them. And if you talk to Chuck Mills at the Asphalt Association, and they look at roads throughout the entire state, and you know, they're essentially a non-profit think tank, you know, for asphalt roads, to extend the longevity of them, to increase the rideability of them, and to facilitate ways to ensure that asphalt is really competitive with concrete, you know. And that's why their goal is to extend that that asphalt, and the crack relief layer has in certain situations has real applicability, and this is one of those situations where you have the curb height, you've got the geometry, you're replacing essentially the road that was present through there with the road profile through there, so it doesn't have any unusual uncomfort with rideability and things along those lines.
Some of the other notes I made, the timing, I think I kind of feel like the conversation we had with police and IT, because I've got, Mr. Lyons telling me that it's fine, that the crack relief wasn't really a good application based on the way this was designed. You're advising us the completely opposite. I don't know anything about concrete or asphalt, so I'm trying to decide what's best for the residents of Taylor. We're spending their money. Am I gonna get a good bang for my buck? And I was vying for a 20-year road, so, you know, I don't know if Mr. Lyon would wanna comment on, or respond to anything that Hennessy's saying, but I think he definitely deserves to have the floor. But whether or not this was an applicable use based on the design and then how long it's gonna last, both from how much more money we're gonna have to put into it and from the perspective of whether or not there's any violations of the Municipal Finance Act. The other thing that I kind of honed in on was Ajax agreeing to the change. It's my understanding that there really isn't an executed document yet. And I'm trying to figure out how we got to where we are, where it appears that this decision was made sometime around May 4th. It's June 15th. It sounds like there's an agreement between the city and Ajax that they'll be able to generate revenue off of future projects based on them getting additional road work at prices to be determined. And I'm asking if that's standard, that there's a you know, 10%, $1.5, $2 million change that's sort of agreed to on a handshake, and they're just trusting that the city's going to give them more work somewhere down the road. Is that typically how business is done?
Typically, when you have a contract extension, is not unusual when you have a contractor that's working well and they're low bid on a project that you extend the contract in. Line items that can uniformly switch over, they switch over. For example, the tonnage, the unit cost per tonnage of asphalt of the two different layers through there. But things that are unique to a project, you generally develop a cost, and there's different mechanisms to do that. You can pull Merrill, which is a state of Michigan costing recommendation for any situation, for handicap ramps, curb and gutter, and things along those lines. It's rare that you would find a line item that is so unique that you really can't find a general cost. It's somewhat similar to the My Deal that was presented, you know, for that. So it's not unusual. I will tell you, I did speak with the president of Ajax Paving this afternoon, and they're probably the largest paver in the state of Michigan. I mean, anybody who's driven up and down I-75 has seen Ajax, and they do both concrete and asphalt, both. And they definitely understood the application of the crack relief layer and its purpose through there. And I knew there was talk about it being inappropriate because it's an asphalt to asphalt, and that's not the situation. It's designed to go on the reconditioned concrete layer to mitigate the crack relief layer, and it's a layer that has a higher void system than the conventional wearing course and leveling course that's through there, and that gives it a little bit more resiliency. And you can see that, you know, the cracks start from the bottom of the asphalt cross section. They don't start from the top. And that's what that crack relief layer provides through there. So there's not a situation where I don't think Ajax felt that it was unnecessary to put the crack relief layer in. They saw the value in it. The city elected to remove it, and they agreed to that. They typically, under MDOT contracts, though, they can come forward when you remove a line item and ask for a larger price increase on another line item, because they can say that we were guaranteed, you know, we were anticipating a certain profit.
Well, that's been my mindset all along. Now, I'm not the largest paver in the state, but why would they agree to this? It seems like it's because they're going to make that money in a different project, but I'm not sure I've seen that we've actually signed anything and that they've agreed to hold their pricing. Are you aware of what pricing would be if there are additional projects?
Yeah, we did have a call with them on Monday. We had a meeting, as Alan mentioned, where we tried to explain, you know, the benefit of the crack layer. And then we had a call with Ajax on Wednesday, 2 days later, and we told them that, you know, it was the city's desire to remove the crack layer through there, and we were going to extend, the anticipation was to extend more projects through there. And Ajax was in agreement on the phone call to hold their unit pricing for the line items that are similar, and that line items that are unique to it, we would go to develop a cost system through the state of Michigan or take other bids that we've gotten from other contractors.
So in general, we don't know what road we're talking about, so I know you can't give me a specific answer, but I would want to make sure that if we go to Beach Daily or name the other road, that we get that road done with a quality design at the cheapest price possible. If we went out to bid for Beach Daily, would you see that bids and pricing that would come in, say in July, would be less than, the same, or significantly higher than maybe what pricing Ajax put in when they won this bid?
Anytime you get later into the season, the pricing escalates through there. Ajax, and one thing we should note about Ajax is they actually own the quarries, they own the plants, and they own the trucks. So other asphalt firms, Hutch Paving, Al's Asphalt, they buy the asphalt from their plants. And we are getting very good pricing from Ajax. Actually, the pricing that they're charging us per unit ton of asphalt is actually lower than what you would get on the street through there. If Hutch Paving were to buy it, or Nagel Paving, or Al's Asphalt, they actually get charged more per ton through there. But that's the advantage that these large pavers can do, and that's why they bid on significant projects, and they put their profit in other line items, more or less, because there's no middleman for them to deal with. They're completely vertically integrated in that regard.
So is there a way for City Council to comfortably know if we do a no-bid Beach Daily project because we owe Ajax or what they didn't get out of Goddard and Pardee, that we're getting the best price for that next project? Sounds like the cost of asphalt pricing would definitely be better. What about the entire scope of the project?
The asphalt will be the majority of it on a Beach Daily through there, and we did some cores on Beach Daily, and we've done some cores on Wick Avenue and things like that to look at what are the best paving methods that should be implemented there. And some of them are unique. Like some of them, one street had 12 inches of asphalt, I think. I can't remember if it was Wick or not. But on a street like that, you know, you would do more of a mill and cap. You know what? You would mill off about 2.5 to 3 inches and cap it. And in that milling, you would do the joint repair right there, because you can't remove the 12 inches of asphalt through there by the time you get down to the concrete. So you really have to get forward to design the roads to really get to a bid tab that everybody's working with then. And then you can really be comfortable. But I do think that the city is going to receive a savings by extending Ajax contract, because the asphalt pricing is very good.
One of my concerns, though, I'm not making any accusations or whatever, but you guys are disputing the changes to Pardee and Goddard, and there was a significant amount of savings, roughly $1.5 million. We as a council said, hey, we would